Hey guys, Life22 here. It's Kevin and Miley. Just dropped Quinn off at Head Start, and we are driving to drop Miley off at the middle school. The importance in today's video is training. I went through that drive-through to drop Miley off the first 2 times, figured it out, right? Like, okay, I'm watching everybody do it wrong. There's no markings on the ground, but it clearly makes sense. And every morning, it's a variable amount of parents that do this drop-off incorrect, right? And then, and so literally, instead of like, they have it designed where you can drop your kid off and then pull out into this other lane, the passing lane only. Because if you let your kids out in the passing lane, your kids could get hurt. People aren't expecting you to let your kids out there. And if something bad happens to your kids, is it the person's fault that because you let your kids out on an expressway? No, it's your fault. It's you're the person who let the kids out in the wrong lane. That's like, oh, I dropped my kids off on the expressway just because it's closer than driving to the school, and they just, and it's a moving only lane. So you just drop your kids off in moving traffic instead of dropping your kids off onto a sidewalk away from vehicles where you're supposed to. So it's a safety issue for children, and parents don't seem to understand that their kids' lives matter. That's really what I'm chalking it up to, because you're just blatantly dropping your kids off in a I don't know, just, hey, I'm just gonna let my kid right off here in the middle of the street. I'm on the opposite side of the road, right, in a heavy, busy street. Similar tactics. So, so the safety of children are at hand here. Also, every morning it takes us about 15 to 20 minutes to drop the kids off, when if everyone was using the line properly, it actually is supposed to take about 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Everybody could be in and out of there dropping their kids off, but because other people are trying to cheat, no, I can drop my kids off over here and get out of there, that person gets out of there in 5 minutes while blocking the line off, and everybody else who's using it properly takes 15 minutes. And it's a cluster. And it drives me nuts, because it's like, how dumb do people have to be to keep doing this incorrectly? So this morning, we're going to drive you through it in a 360-degree view of the Olean Middle School drop-off. And there's other ones too. If you're a parent out there and you have an issue at Washington West or Eastview or any of these other ones, and you think that a video might help as an instructional video for parents, I almost feel like they should be mandated to watch this stuff. Because, listen, if one of these dumb parents hits my kid and I'm dropping my kid off on the right side, on the proper way to do things, like, there should be hell to pay. Like, and you can't do anything wrong in this world, right? Because the justice system will just let you go. No, you ran over a kid. Well, you didn't mean it. Well, that doesn't freaking matter. Somebody feeds my kids paint chips. Well, I thought they were potato chips. My dad used to feed them to me. Well, you just fed my child paint chips and hurt my child. You know, it's their stupidity is not an excuse for endangering the lives of children. And that's my 2 cents. So we're coming up on it now. 27, 30. I'm going 20. All right. You need to recalibrate those things. I was going through a 10 the other day. It told me I was going 40. Mm-hmm. Got this. Oop. All right, speed 5 miles per hour. You come in for the approach, right? Bus is that way, changing lanes. Boom. All parents enter the right lane. You can already see, look at this bonehead. This bonehead right here. Oh, I'm just going to cheat ahead. No. There's a sidewalk here. You drive once, you might be backed up a little bit, but as parents let out, You pull up. As soon as your door is able to drop off somebody at the drive-thru, there's another bonehead parent. There's another, listen, so Miley could have gotten out there. We were half on the sidewalk, right? Boom. Now we're on the sidewalk. Miley's going to get out. See you, Miley. Have fun at school. Good luck at your cheerleading thing. Kiss your kids goodbye. Do whatever you have to do, and then set them off onto the sidewalk. Now, I'll stay here. That car in front of me didn't have to pull forward. They're supposed to just take a left into the left turning lane. Yeah, they want to drop their kids off a little closer. Okay. So now what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to get into that other lane. But those parents are blocking the other lane. So now I've got to sit here and just ride straight, which is not what this is designed for. This is a drop-off lane, like a fire lane. The fire truck pulls in, fire truck's done, it pulls away, right? It's just a parking spot, essentially, or a standing or unloading zone. So what I would do is I would pull up where that truck is and other cars behind me is if your kids get out faster. So that little girl right there could get run over by somebody. Or the boneheads that don't cross over, they'll let their kids off in the parking lot and they'll cross over. Now this spot right here has room for 2 cars to go. This guy's going to be standoffish because he's a bonehead. There's 2 cars here, and so if you're the first car in line, you can let your kid off and just pull forward instead of going into the turning lane. There's room for 2 cars here, and then there's usually a bunch of idiots that drop off their kids right there. Their kids can hit the crosswalk, so they're cheating too, but they're not putting their kids in as much danger. There's people that'll drop their kids on the other side of the parking lot. Those kids will scoot through between cars that are moving in and out of those passing lanes, and it's very dangerous. But what should have happened there is I should have pulled in, dropped Miley off at one of the first intersections, or one of the first sidewalk block spots, and then I should have been able to I should have been able to take a left into that passing lane, because there should have been almost nobody there except for other cars entering the passing lane to just keep going, right? You get into that passing lane, you get up to the crosswalk, you stop, look for children crossing, and you go. If you're at the front of the line, you can just look for children crossing and go. It's a pretty simple thing, but everybody just I'm just gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat. And guess what? You're cheating. This morning there was hardly any parents there. It's because it was 8:08. But usually we're there anytime before 7:30 and 8 o'clock in the morning, and there's just a pile of boneheads. Just boneheads. And then both lines are packed, just dumping kids off in every which direction. And then somebody moves forward, and then they're honking at kids because they're trying to move up 2 inches, and it's ridiculous. It's like you when you pull into that property, parents are taking their heads off and then scooping out the brains and then just putting potato salad and then putting their head back on, and then it's I'm trying to function. It's a pet peeve of mine. So it might not be that big of an issue to you guys, but I don't know. I've dealt with it 100 mornings now, and I don't know, something's got to be done about it. So, all right, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. I can't think of what's next. Tomorrow's my birthday. Probably do a birthday podcast with the kids. So you'll see us tomorrow. Thanks.